Hi guys, thank you for coming in. I'm always late with updates. It's really hard for you out there. As I always say, much is happening all the time. This weekend I don't have any time to actually make a video, so I tried to make one for you today. I were supposed to make one for you last week, but I didn't get time. My girlfriend was done earlier at work. We had a date night. I tried to film this clip for like 3 times, having issues with the focus. I might actually have nailed it in now, so it shouldn't be a problem in the future. Otherwise, I have a lot of things to take up with you, so next week I have actually so many days off from work. I have day off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I have a lot of products to show you, to tell you about. There's still things out there that I've gotten in that I haven't showed you or talked about at all. I have a new keyboard, which is going to be the main attraction today, what we're going to talk about. Sorry I'm a little off here, but I'm not sure I've actually done a really good review of the mouse yet. If I have, sorry, I won't bring it up. I'm going to check after I made this video. I have a new pair of headphones since a friend of mine broke the old ones when I was on vacation in Netherlands. It's the Sennheiser HD. No, not HD. Sorry, that's the normal line they have. This is the Game 0. Totally off today. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have a review of the Game 0 later. Which actually audio-wise now I start to get a lot more under the belt of experience there. But today, as I said, we have a wonderful keyboard here that I'm gonna talk about. Now I've done it a few times, so when I say that I want to talk about it, I feel like I've done it a million times before. But I want to actually start with the cons, and to come into pros and cons I have to actually talk a little about it. It is not a Cherry MX mechanical keyboard. It is a mechanical keyboard from Steelseries, and it is a little special one, and that was also the reason I bought it, not because of the lighting, just that I was really tired of the clickety-clock from the Razer keyboard I had, the Black Widow. I had the Black Widow Ultimate 2013 edition, so I didn't have the green keys, although I heard they click just as much. You can get it in a silent version, so probably better there. The silent version has something close to the MX Brown, if I'm correct, and I'm actually not that into MX keys anymore. Most people are probably going to chop my head off for saying that, but I came from a keyboard that I loved so much when I was actually at the skill peak. When I played Counter-Strike, I did really well with a certain keyboard, and I'm going to jump a little into that later on. But when I'm talking about this keyboard, it's the Steelseries M800 Apex, or APEX M800. It's a full backlit RGB keyboard with actually the LED indicator, or the LED itself, right underneath the key here. If you can't see it pretty well, then not my fault. I'm probably gonna edit a little bit in here this time. But it's a full RGB backlit keyboard, and it has 2 processors inside. So one is just handling the key input itself, and if I remember correctly, it's a really big gimmick, because what SteelSeries say is that you can push all the keys in at once, not once, but 2 times in a row, and it will still be handled by the computer. It's hard to actually try this, since I'm not actually capable of pushing every keys in twice. Pushing all of them once is actually a hard thing to do, but by my experience they might be right. I have tried to push in many things and everything is registered without any lag or any problems there. That being said, the other processor, as I told you, just handles the lighting, so you don't get any lag or any crash there. There's a lot of things happening with the driver recently. When they first came out, a few reviewers just had what you can do in the software. I'm going to go a little bit into that after a few minutes now, because they have something called GameSense, and you can actually connect it up with some games. Right now I think it's just Minecraft and Counter-Strike supported, but probably more games will be supported later on, and I have some ideas of things they should fix that I'm going to put inside this video, so you know what you go into and what kind of limits you have when it comes to the customization. This is a Nordic layout, for those wondering. If you are a Swedish one, or I think from Denmark and Norway, this will be the layout you get, because enter keys is sometimes different on American standards and English standards. The layout is usually different, so actually when I go on internet, that's one of the first things I look up, because I'm used to one way of doing things. I actually think the caps lock key is a little big here, so the layout here is a little bit different. The W is not quite where I want it. I want it actually, compared to the ASD, I want it a little more centered towards the S, but no problems there. It's all well. I didn't have any problems getting used to it. So, done with the layout, the lighting, and what's inside it. Now let's talk a little bit about the key switch and why I prefer this over an MX keyboard. When I used to play so vast amount of Counter-Strike that I kind of didn't care about doing school homework and stuff like that, I played so much Counter-Strike. I slept probably for like 4 to 6 hours every day. Not recommending anybody to do that, but hey, I was a kid. I had wrong priorities, but in the end it went out fine for me, I would say. And when I played that time, I had what I thought was the perfect setup. I had a Razer Copperhead mouse that many people would say was a faulty mouse. I had the first edition one. I still have it. It's broken now, but after a few firmware patches, that mouse was incredible for a laser mouse. I had no issue with it. The tracking was superb. I didn't have any tracking issues or that it bugged up by when I did too hard speed on it, and I had low sense, so I would know that. And keyboard wise, I had a Razer Tarantula. And for people who don't know, that was actually the first keyboard Razer ever made, and you could have two different add-ons on it. Either a light, which I actually had, that would light over the keyboard. It was so gimmicky and it didn't actually work well. They had also something called a battle eye, and if I remember, it was actually a little webcam you could have in the keyboard pointing up towards you, and it was just silly. Nobody used the battle eye, and I had the lighting just because I could. But what was so special about that keyboard was actually the travel distance. It was a membrane keyboard, that being said, but it was something of a hybrid between a normal membrane keyboard and something of a laptop. The travel distance was short, and it had 100 Hz response time, everything they use on the mouses these days. Sorry. And this one does exactly what I had back then. It has a really, really short travel distance before it recognizes a key input, and it doesn't go that far before it stops. I heard some reviewers say that it is a little mushy, that you don't quite get the feel of pushing down the buttons. And I would actually say that over some of the keys that is true, and I have a feeling that the keys, the arrow keys, they actually they stop at a point, while the rest of the layout is more mushy to the feeling. But you can bottom them out and you feel when it stops. But after using this for a little while, I don't bottom them out anymore. I just softly touch them and I use them how they are supposed to be. So, and I heard many whine about the space button. I would say just quiet down. You don't need to. I haven't faulty pushed it once, not even once. And it is like the Razer Death 2013. It gets easily pushed down. It's so soft to touch. So some might, I haven't. I don't rest on it. I have this ugly claw grip both on the mouse and the keyboard when I play. I've never pushed it. Some might have an issue with it, but I haven't. So now to the pros and cons of this, because it's one sick, nice looking keyboard. I don't get why people say that it's plastic fantastic, because coming from the Razer Black Mamba, yeah, it's plastic, but so was the Razer. And the Razer one was actually more of a dirt magnet than this is. This is actually possible to clean because it has more, it doesn't have that soft finish of the plastic like the Razer Mamba. Some might find that more plastic fantastic, but this feels actually more solid. It's more heavy. It's not that easy to bend, I would say. So I would actually toss that off. It's not so plastic fantastic compared to Razer product. Compared to a Corsair product, of course, Corsair use aluminium on the bottom and it has a much more exclusive feeling to it. I wouldn't even go out there and fight for that, but I wouldn't be so hard on it for being plastic. There's keyboards out there that are plastic that feel less premium than this. So if somebody finds this finish not premium, sure, I can understand that, but it's more premium than what people want them to be. Also on the back side, I haven't talked about it, you can actually change this this rubber standing, so you can have a shorter one and a high one. I took the high one since I like to have that high level on the keyboard. And I would say that this is friggingly the way to go. How many times have people out there nerd raged and smack those friggin' legs down? They get broken pretty easy. And if you move keyboards the wrong way, I'm not the one that nerd rages that hard. I usually be like, lay back in the chair and that's it. But somebody pushes things. But still, I have broken these legs that are usually on keyboards. And just by moving it in a wrong way, they can break off. It's really annoying. With this, you don't have that problem at all. So, there's actually not that much else to say about the keyboard. And then it really comes down to what your preferences is and other things. When it comes to the software, it's really straightforward. You can do a lot of things with it. I was supposed to talk a little bit about the game sense and the customization of it. Customization is really easy, but you sometimes stumble into places that you actually can't tweak things. The presets, I wish that you could just save them. They will come up and you can mark everything and then customize the preset a little bit. Like, I don't like the timing on this preset because this is what the keyboard is when you get it. This color module like this, it's like going from blue on the macros, then it goes from a little lemon yellowish down to orange reddish, and then to lemon again. And you can't customize it a bit, because now when I push a button in, it turns blue and then goes slowly over to what I had. And that's probably fine for somebody, but I would actually like the conversion from blue over to orange much faster. You can actually tweak that if you customize it yourself. You can have it like a few seconds. Because when I enter a password in, somebody might sit on my neck and then you see, okay, that's what it pushed. So that's kind of annoying. And the same goes for game sense. When you go into like something set up for Counter-Strike, the whole key set is actually changed for that purpose. While the only thing I actually feel like would be nice there is that you can have 1 down to 5 showing up how many people you've taken down this round and how many of those were headshots. I think it shows up as green if it's a kill and red if it was a headshot. And the other one is the lights turn off, so it goes off 1, 2, 3 down to 5. That's the only thing I wanted. And because up here there's ammo bar and another one is green for life, and I don't need that. I have a screen I can see what's happening. So game sense, they should actually be able to disable a few functions and add-ons. So probably will come on through time. It's not that old. It's something they started with now. So hopefully they will pick this up. But compared to Razer and Corsair, I would say that the way to do things is much more simpler here than anybody else at this moment, and people should pick it up because it's that easy to change it. And you can have one mode for idle when you haven't used it for a while. I have one now, but it takes like 500 seconds till it toggles in, so we won't wait for that. I maybe try to add some videos when I clip this up so you can have a little bit of look at it, so it might be here now. And all in all, why should you buy it? First of all, maybe not. If you're not an FPS gamer, don't need the short travel distance, because it's so easy to sit and play Counter-Strike and get those few millimeters, because you can like small tap it really easy. So getting on that corner, you need to take the sniper down so it doesn't see your whole body, and just get out there really fast, really sharp. Get this at once. It's superb for that notion itself. But for a MOBA player or MMO player or somebody that plays strategy games, this might not be for you. People are saying it all over the way, like it's not the typing keyboard that everybody wants. You like to have a good response that you push something in. When you're playing a Counter-Strike play, it's like your body being on the keyboard, so you actually sense if you don't push anything incorrectly. But missing a key when like ordering units in StarCraft, or missing a key getting off combo, or say an ability in MOBA at the right second at the right time, that's actually crucial. So if you miss it, you're effed. If you do that in Counter-Strike, you sense it and can correct it at once. It's no problem. So, and the price is kind of hefty too, but I hope that they come out with one that isn't RGB lighting, maybe mono lighting without all the sick things you can do with this one, and maybe one without lighting at all to just decrease the price, because this keyboard I would recommend to all serious FPS gamers out there, and without a doubt, even this is it. This is seriously it. I would go as far as saying that. Even what your preference is, I would say this is it. So, without further ado, I would say thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna edit clips now. The intro won't be as nice on this as you probably saw in the clip, but next week I will start actually opening 3D software, making a cool intro. When it's done, I can't promise, but I will work on it. I will actually use time for you now. There are a few of you watching my movies, and I get great responses on my mousepad movie, my chair movie, and just ask me anything. I'm a small guy at this moment, so I'll answer everything back. Except when you bitch on my hair and beard. I haven't got that much on the hair, but the beard. Who tells a man to cut the beard off? If I look like a hobo, that's my fucking doing, right? So if I want to look like a hobo, I will. Well, keep the beard, guys. Have a lovely day. Geek on. Go pro. See ya.